اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. We shall have some discussion about the nature of the Makki surahs as a whole and how they are grouped. You know, we have been in the Madani Jannah. This was Madani Jannah, Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, then Nisa, then Maida. It had a taste of its own. وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ, as we find, in Surah Al-Rahman. We were, walking in the Jannah of Medina. What were the problems there? What were the issues there? The issue of munafiqeen, the issue of Ahl Kitab. Then the commandments, the do's and don'ts. This do this, don't do this. This is permissible, this is haram, this is the law. All these discussions were there. But the conditions in the Makkah were absolutely different. No munafiqeen, no Ahl Kitab. There is a mention of Ahl Kitab in Makki surahs also, but it's a, sort of zimni, secondary, not directly talking to them, addressing them. Now what are the problems here? The polytheism, the idolaters, the associators with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then they didn't believe in resurrection, some of them. Most of them didn't believe in resurrection. Thirdly, they were just ignorant of anything which they might call prophethood. The Jews knew it. They believed in so many prophets. The Christians knew it. After all, they also believe in the Old Testament and whole history of the prophets. But these people at Makkah, they know who is the prophet, because their history was just empty from it. So these are the main issues that are discussed in the Makki surahs. Number one, Iman, Tawheed, Ma'ad, resurrection, Risala, the institution of prophethood. Number two, basic moral teaching, not the legal teachings. Basic morality and criticism of the society which had decayed morally. You have become bankrupt morally. That was the condition of the society at Makkah. Then here the conflict was between the idolaters and the muwahhideen, people who believe in one Allah. The conflict, as time passed, nearly slightly more than 12 years after the beginning of Wahi till Hijrah. And this conflict, the intensity of the conflict became severer and severer and severer and severer. For the first 3 years, they were only persecuting the person of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that only also through words, verbal persecution. Oh, he has gone crazy. It seems some evil spirit has overtaken him. Oh, he has learnt poetry from somewhere. Oh, he gets dictation from some slave. He has some very learned, some Christian or Jew in his, house, hidden there. And he gets the, dictation from them because he's talking so much of the prophets of Old Testament. Where from can he have the knowledge? He must have some Jew or Christian slave in his home. He has hidden them there and getting the dictation, and here he comes to us and, he says it is Wahi from Allah. So all these things were being said for him. Majnoon, Sahir, oh, he's a sorcerer, no doubt. Whenever he speaks and he reads, what he says to be the word of Allah, actually, our hearts, they get influenced. So he's a sorcerer, he's a magician. So only these things were said about the Prophet. which I am labeling as the verbal persecution. And that was only for the Prophet's personality. But from the 4th year after Hijrah, 4th year after the beginning of Wahi, physical persecution started. Beat them, keep them hungry, tie them up in the homes, imprison them, especially the youth, who were naturally at the mercy of their elders. The elders can do anything to their offspring. And more so, the slaves. They were owned by them. They were their property. They could kill a slave whenever they liked. Nobody could question them. Why did you kill him? Just as if you have a goat and you sacrifice it, nobody will go ask, why have you sacrificed this goat? Because I own it, I can sacrifice it any time I like. And this slave is also my property. I can do whatever I like. So this conflict, was progressing and progressing and progressing. And the second point that I want to make clear, that there are, as I told you, there are 7 groups of Makki and Madani surahs in Quran. But the first group is very peculiar. The Makki surah was only Surah Al-Fatiha, a very small surah, 7 ayat. Although it's very profound, it's equal to the whole of Quran, Quran. But here we find 4 longest surahs of the Quran, Madanis, Baqarah, Al Imran, Nisa, Maida. Now, what does it mean? That actually there are only 6 groups of Makki surahs in the Quran. If you just keep away Surah Al-Fatiha, it's a preface to the whole of the Quran, not to the first group only. About these 6 groups, first group is this, comprising of 2 surahs, a pair of surahs, that is Al-An'am, Al-A'raf. Then we shall have a pair of Madani surahs, Al-Fal and Tawbah. Then 14 Makki surahs. Surah Yunus, Surah Hud, Surah Yusuf, Surah Ra'd. You just listened today, those of you who were present in the Taraweeh, Surah Yusuf and Surah Ra'd. Then Surah Ibrahim, Surah Hijr, Surah Al-Nahl, Surah Bani Israel, Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Maryam, Surah Taha, Anbiya, Hajj. 14 surahs, and then a single surah, Madani, and that is Surah Nur. So we have 6 groups. The general distribution of these groups is, if you divide the 12 years into 3 parts, first 4 years, middle 4 years, last 4 years. The surahs which were revealed during the first 4 years are in the last 2 groups. The surahs which are included in the middle 2 groups, they were revealed in the middle 4 years. And these surahs which are in the first 2 groups of the Makki surahs, they were generally revealed in the last 4 years. So it's the reverse order. The reverse order of compilation in that respect also, that the first Madani surahs we have read, although they were revealed after Hijrah. And reverse order in this also, in this aspect also, that among the Makki surahs, which were the latest in revelation, appear in this book in Musaf first of all, then the middle, and then those surahs which were revealed in the very beginning. Especially this pair, about Surah Al-An'am, let it be known that this was revealed in the last year before Hijrah. And number 2, there is the hadith from Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, which says that this was revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam one piece at one time. I've been telling you that the period of the revelation of Surah Al-Baqarah, about 2 years. Beginning just after migration, Hijrah, till the Battle of Badr. In the same way, the period of revelation of Surah Al-Ma'idah, 6th, 7th years. Some of the ayat are much later, which are included in it. But this Surah Al-An'am, it was revealed as one piece, one khutbah, one sermon. One discourse, whole at once. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal arda wa ja'ala adh-dhulumati wan nur. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just note, after Surah Al-Fatiha, we are again beginning a surah with Alhamdulillah. And this is the 7th part, is it? And you will find again in the 15th part, Surah Al-Kahf, Alhamdulillahi allazi anzala ala abdihi al-kitaba wa lam yaj'al lahu iwaja. Then again in the 22nd, Surah Al-Fatih, Surah Al-Sabah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. At regular intervals in the Quran, the surahs are starting with Alhamdulillah, with Tahmeed. Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal ard. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created the heavens and the earth. Wa ja'ala adh-dhulumati wan nur. Note the change of the word. And He made light and darkness. Because for darkness, khalq is not an appropriate word. Darkness is no positive existence. It's a negative concept. There is no light, it's darkness. So khalq, this cannot be applicable. وَجَعَلَ الظُّلُمَاتِ وَالنُّورِ. And He made the darknesses, again, note, darknesses in plural, وَالنُّورِ, light as a singular. ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ يَعْدِلُونَ. But those who disbelieve, they are associating partners, equals to Allah. Adl here means to make equal, because adl means equity. So assigning someone to be equal to Allah, that word is used in this form also. Because actually, now this is Tawheed. So the first ayah is discussing Tawheed and condemning shirk. ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون هو الذي خلقكم من طين ثم قضى أجلا. It is He who created you from clay, and then He decreed and fixed a term, a time. وَأَجَلٌ مُسَمًّى إِنْدَهُ, and there is another fixed term and time which is with Him. ثُمَّ أَنْتُمْ تَمْتَرُونَ. But you are doubting about it. What does it mean? 2 ajals. One ajal we know. Each individual has a fixed time of death. And nobody denies it. Do you know any person who can deny death? So sure of it. Although we just keep it out of our mind. Don't want to think about it. But we know it. It has to come sooner or later. In the same way, there is another time fixed for this whole world. About that you are doubting. You see this time. These are 2 things. Each individual has an ajal, and you all believe in it. And this whole world has an ajal, you don't want to believe it. How come? So this is the simple logic of Quran. هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن طِينٍ ثُمَّ قَضَى أَجَلًا وَأَجَلٌ مُّسَمًّى إِنْدَهُ ثُمَّ أَنْتُمْ تَمْتَرُونَ. There's another, and this is, indahu is very important. It is with Him. He only knows. إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ السَّاعَةِ. Nobody knows about this, ajal of this world, when it will come. The doomsday, when it will come. Nobody knows. Even the Prophet in that hadith of Jibreel, he said, nobody knows it except Allah. Now, in the first ayah there was Tawheed. In the second ayah it is resurrection and doomsday. وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ. And He is the God in the heavens as well as on earth. You tend to believe the one who is in heaven. You don't want to believe in the one who is in this world. What does it mean? If you believe that He is the Lord of the heavens as well as the Lord of this world, you must establish His kingdom here. Kingdom of heaven on earth. But we have separated the two. My Lord, your Lord. And that Lord has nothing to do with this world. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You are the same God. You are the same Allah. He is the same Allah. His command, is being executed in the skies. Thy will be done as it is in earth, in the heavens. يَعْلَمُ سِرَّكُمْ وَجَهْرَكُمْ. He knows whatever you hide and whatever you pronounce openly. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا تَكْسِبُونَ. And He knows what you are earning. And I told you that this word kasb in Quran appears good deeds or bad deeds. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. And to him and to these people, whichever sign of Allah comes, there doesn't come to them any sign of Allah, but they are turning away. They turn their faces away. They are not going to accept. فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ. Now this قَدْ كَذَّبُوا, note it. In Arabic, when with the past tense, mazi, fi'lul mazi, if it is preceded by qad, it means present perfect tense. It has happened. Something which has already happened. فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ. They have refuted, rejected the truth which has come to them. Why? It is being said in the 12th year after the beginning of Wahi. 12 long years had passed. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was conveying to them the message, despite all the persecution, verbal or physical. He continued and continued and continued. A small city, maybe less than Flushing. Flushing might be a very big town, I don't know. A few hundred families living in Makkah, that's all. And 12 long years, preaching day and night. Those who have not up till now accepted it, it means they have rejected. That is why in the very first section of Surah Al-Baqarah you find, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ. Those who have rejected it, now there's no use if you go on preaching and preaching to them. They are not going to believe. Allah has put on a seal on their hearts. You will find the same subject coming in this surah also. Because these surahs, if it is correct that this was revealed in the last year before Hijrah, the first surah after Hijrah is Surah Al-Baqarah. So the two are joined together. Although in the Mus'haf, in this, we find them very much separate. فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِيهِمْ أَنْبَاءُ مَا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. So very soon the news of those things will come to them about whom they were mocking. They were mocking. What will happen? No. You are threatening us with some dire consequences, that the punishment of Allah will come. No. So all these things will come to them. They will see it. 70 of them will be lying dead in the battle of Badr. It's not very far off. It's just approaching. Abu Jahl, lying dead. Umayyah ibn Khalf, lying dead. 70 of them. Soon the news of those things will come to them as actual events about which they had been mocking. أَلَمْ يَرَوْا كَمَا أَهْلَكْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ مِنْ قَرْنٍ مَكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَا لَمْ نُمَكِّنْ لَكُمْ. Have they not considered it? How many generations we destroyed before them. They know the history of Ad and Samud. These nations were at some time living in the Arabian Peninsula. The nation of Ad, the nation of Hud, in the southern part, which is the worst type of desert today. And very recently, their city, Shaddad's capital, has been discovered. It is under the desert. And Samud, to whom Saleh was sent, he lived, in the northwestern region of the Arabian Peninsula. So these people knew their nations, that there was such a nation, it was destroyed. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَلَمْ يَرَوْا كَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِهِ مِنْ قَرْنٍ. How many generations, how many nations we destroyed and eliminated. مَكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَا لَمْ نُمَكِّنْ لَكُمْ. We established them in the land as much we have not established you. The whole of Ad was very great, a very big culture, very big civilization. In the same way, in the days of Samud, they were very powerful. Oh, you Quraysh of Makkah, you are not so powerful. You are only enjoying some privileges because you are the custodians of Kaaba. لإلاف قريش إلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Not due to your own strength. You are not on your own feet. But Qawm Ad and Qawm Samud, they were very great people. وَأَرْسَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِدْرَارًا. And we poured water from heavens on them like torrents. Rains coming abundantly. وَجَعَلْنَا الْأَنْهَارَ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهِمْ. And we made rivers flowing underneath them. فَأَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ بِذُنُوبِهِمْ. But then we destroyed them, finished with them, eliminated them due to their sins. وَأَنْشَأْنَا مِن بَعْدِهِمْ قَرْنًا آخَرِينَ. And then we raised after them another generation. وَلَوْ نَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ كِتَابًا فِي قِرْطَاسٍ فَلَمَسُوهُ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ. And had we sent down on them a book in parchment, and they would have touched it with their hands, لَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. Then these unbelievers would have said, oh, it is magic, it is sorcery. Now the background of this ayah, and the passage which we shall read in the next hour, it's very important. So to say, please don't take it literally. At that time, the Prophet ﷺ was as if he was being crushed between the two stones of a grinder. I'm using very strong words. What's the meaning? On the one hand, the chiefs of Quraysh, they were demanding from him a visible miracle. Oh Muhammad, if you say you are a messenger of Allah, show us the miracles that were given to the former messengers. And this sounded very logical. Isn't it so? If you say you are a messenger of Allah, show us a miracle. And the miracle which we can see with our eyes. If to Samud that miracle was given, that on their demand, a pregnant she-camel came out from the rock. Well, they were demanding such a miracle from him also. And what was the effect on the masses, on the common people? Oh yes, they are very correct. They are making a just demand from him. But he is claiming to be the messenger of Allah. So he must show the miracle. This is on one side. And on the other hand, Allah said, no, nothing doing. I am not going to show them any such miracle. You should read it. You can very well appreciate to what sort of a complicated position in which he was caught. And what were the feelings of the Prophet, and what were the feelings of the companions of the Prophet, and what were the feelings of the common people, and what were the feelings of the chieftains, that we shall inshallah read in the next passage. بارک اللہ لی ولکم فی القرآن العظیم ونفعنی وإیاکم بالآیات والذکر الحکیم.